welcome to the Purple Pride podcast. That's Triple P with
Triple A, who's very depressed right now. Oh, gosh.
Yep, Mila here, also kind of depressed. Why is that? Do we even need to have this episode? Is there even a reason?
I think we should, because you remember, we talked about you were going to play a team that's just like you, and it was going to be who's real, who's authentic, and it was like OSU listened to all the notes we gave on how to win the game and they literally did everything we talked about in that game except special teams where K-State, really showed out there. But literally you go back and listen to that last episode that we had and it was just Oklahoma State going, yep, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. But let's get into the eval and find out how this loss happened. Final score was 31-20, which, by the way, for as awful as we played, 31-20, if you were somewhat just a little better, just a little, it tells you with Sky Thompson, you would have won going away, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. And faithful to our colors, we shall always be. We'll get into it. Right on cue, we have Hatton, yes, named after Manhattan, Kansas. So she's going to be photobombing. Hopefully she doesn't do anything embarrassing. But let's get into it. So if you're new here, the EMA eval is E, the event that changed the game. M is your MVP. A is your audible or your quick adjustment. And W is what went right and what went wrong. So for the E, I have the event that changed the game. And unfortunately, it happened very early on, but it was the fumble for the touchdown.
How could that not be it, right? How could that had to be it?
He's just we started so great, so solid, and then that happened, and it's it just disintegrated the whole team. I don't even understand what happened. It was guys, there's so much game left. Just get up and play, and it's they never got past it. So if you didn't watch the game, Howard fumbled the ball, and it just kind of went into the end zone, and that sucked. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that at all.
Yeah, I'll elaborate on it because, one, you're down 4, you get the ball, you have a chance to go back, take the lead. Right now, you and OSU are trading shots, right? And we talked about in this game that it's so important to get up by double digits at some point in this game to really make either yourself or OSU, whoever got up, one-dimensional, right? Because if you do that, you can really hone in on the defensive end and force that team to do things they're uncomfortable with. And unfortunately, that fumble led to Oklahoma State getting up by double digits, and it was part of a 5 straight scoring drives that Oklahoma State had. And after that, the game was kind of over. They forced you to be one-dimensional. They took away your run game and forced you to pass the ball, and that's what hurt so bad. And when you talk about momentum, as we watch the Dallas Cowboys, close out this victory against the Eagles going on right now while we record, there's a perfect example for momentum. It's when you have a starting quarterback, momentum's not as important because your starting quarterbacks are able to bounce back, right? Think of all the times Eli Manning has played terrible the whole game and then just put it together in the final drive to win, right? The only reason he's probably going to get into the Hall of Fame is because he was just his dirt face was able to forget about all the crap plays he had and put it together at the end.
We really don't need to bring up Eli anymore. We could just roll past that one.
I bring it up because when you're a backup quarterback, you're a backup for a reason, right? You don't have that ability yet to overcome these bad plays, to overcome these mistakes. And so you're so momentum focused, right? When things are going well, your confidence is at all-time high and you're feeling it like it was early in that game. But once Howard fumbled, you saw it just nosedive. His confidence went down and the confidence of the team went down too. So that's absolutely why that was the event that changed the game.
Yep. All right, so moving on, we've got M, or MVP of the game. So I'll go ahead and take that one. It was kind of the key to the game that I told everybody to look out for with my bat goggles. That's going to be our special teams U. So they showed up. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to bring it home. They still showed up. Notably, really Malik Knowles with the kick return for the touchdown. Fantastic. Can't ask for anything more. Hopefully he carries that on to the next game against the Sooners. And then, with as many punts as we had to do, Zettner just playing deep. I mean, he did well, but it just sucks that we were kind of in that position.
I mean, the MVP, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, even though we were playing bad, like the fact that Zettner kept pinning OSU deep, it actually led to a series of drives throughout that
Mhm.
whole third quarter where OSU was unable to move the ball and score because you kept pinning them deep, right? You got multiple
Right.
opportunities to get them off of the field, and that was your opening to
Hmm.
get back in the game, right? Where your
Agreed.
defense stepped up, when your special team stepped up, but unfortunately it was like too little, too late. But like
Hmm.
special teams gave you a shot in this game to win. One facet of the game really gave you an opportunity here. They set up your defense well in the second half, but like you just couldn't take advantage on the offensive end.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So let's get into the audible.
Man, it's hard when you lose like this to find an adjustment that really
Hmm.
won the game. And it wasn't so much as like a defensive adjustment. They're running basically the same defense in the second half. It was just all of a sudden we were focused, right? We started to
Hmm.
tackle more. We started to get off of our blocks better. And, Kleiman pointed out too, like, hey, like they just played better. They got off the blocks. They followed the assignments. And I don't know what it is, but like whenever you're in a whirlwind in that first half, like it kind of just all goes by you so fast with that
Hmm.
momentum, right? Halftime came, you got a moment to digest. The game finally stopped. You got a chance to refocus, and then the defense showed up, and it
Yeah.
helped. I mean, OSU couldn't do anything the rest of the game. It just happened so late. You really
Yeah.
keep OSU under 30 to really have a shot in this game because like you knew 30 is a struggle. 30 points was going to be a struggle
Hmm.
for K-State to reach to, with their offense in a sputtering predicament because of the quarterback situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, defense turned on the Jets, but then it was like offense, hey, where are you? Anytime
Hmm.
now, this would be great. So, looking back at the score 31-20, it's like, well, what really went wrong here? This seems like it was so close. So, I guess let's go into that. What went right and what went wrong? Go ahead,
Uh,
take right and I'll take wrong.
all right, I'll
We'll
take
do
right.
the opposite way.
All right, I'll take right. What went right is obviously your second half defense and your special teams. The lone bright spots in this game, you know, special teams, you called it right from the jump, last episode that they were going to show up, and they absolutely did. The defense, you
Hmm.
know, they might have waited till the second half to show up, but like what you saw gap blitzing, which is something that we talked about, right? To limit that run
Hmm.
game of OSU. You saw them switch from a 4-3 to a 3-3-5, back and forth, to try to confuse OSU. The only problem was is that once you got down by such an amount, you know, the impact is kind of minimal when your offense can't store. So OSU was like, well, we'll just run out the clock in this situation. We won't try to press or challenge the defense as much in that second half because we don't need to. So, while they stepped up, it was also a little bit of OSU going, we don't really need to push it right here.
Right. So then, what went wrong? Yeah, I mean, how can you not talk about those turnovers? I believe there was four pretty early on, and it was like, what are you guys doing? Like, what? Why are we not focused? Why stupid little mistakes? What is going on? Um, I also want to mention the quarterback switch. Maybe it was the right call. Maybe it wasn't. Howard kind of got injured. Um, and I'll be honest here, like I was in and out of this game. We had a very long competitive day at a fitness combine thing. So I was drained with the sun all day, but I really did try to watch and I hoped every time I'd open my eyes it would get better and it just didn't. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on the
Yeah.
Q. Did I miss something there?
No, I think you got just a little confused with, Kansas teams in general, right? Kansas City had 4 turnovers. K-State had 2, but it felt like everybody that
Oh,
had anything to do with Kansas and Kansas City and K-State was just turning the ball over all week. And I, I mean, I'll elaborate a little bit, right? On
yeah.
one thing you did touch on. That turnovers, it absolutely cost you the game because it lost you possessions. And when you lose
Hmm.
possession, especially one that led into a touchdown for the other one, it kills you. But
Right.
like you don't talk about this much and people haven't brought this up, but the fact that Howard went down, Howard got hurt. Your backup quarterback who's got all the experience, who's taken pretty much all the reps, And yes, you got a little bit of a spark with Lewis, but that's what Lewis is supposed to be, just a spark. It's a limited playbook. It's just a spark. It's supposed to give you a momentum shift. But the fact that you had to leave him in for the rest of the game, your playbook is only this big, right? It's only this big when you're using somebody for a spark. Think of it as like the Wildcat offense that Miami had, right? It's not supposed to be meant for the whole game. So when you take someone that's supposed to be only for a couple drives and end up having the whole game, like Mess is like, I mean, there's plenty that he did wrong, but like Mess is like, well, what can I call that he actually knows, that he has experience with it? And you saw it, like no timing with the receivers, limited playbook, just really hard. The only scoring drive was like a Herculean effort by him not to get sacked and push the ball out to Deuce. But like, it was just a lot of things went wrong, and Howard going down just added to it, because the one guy outside of Skylar, and yes, Howard hasn't played great, but he's shown an ability to at least hit a deep pass or two. It just, I mean, once he went down, it was over.
Yeah, you can kind of look at this as a catch-22 of, hey, didn't really go our way, but for it to only be 31-20 with a third-string quarterback, okay, maybe there's a bright side. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to see the glass half full.
I mean, technically, there is a bright side here. So, like, your season's not over.
Right. Okay? No, not at all. Far from.
As reported before this game, if you are a Twitterholic like myself, guess who was doing some pregame warm-ups before everybody went in pads?
Oh, Mr. Thompson?
Skylar Thompson was doing some throwing drills. So
I would say we might have called that. We might have said that Skylar might be back in time for OU.
So that's the thing, right? We're down to Skylar's either going to be back for OU or he's going to be back after the bye week. It's one of those two. Which one is it going to be? I'm leaning towards it being back after the bye week, because I think Simon doesn't want to risk him for the year. You want to get him back with 2 weeks rather than 1 week to really make sure. But basically, Skylar's at the point where he has to prove that he can run. If he proves he can run the ball, or run with the football, run during the pre-snap routines and everything, he's in. They're going to start him.
Yeah.
But I think Kleinman's going to be a little conservative here, make sure his quarterback's good, because you don't want him to go down again, right? So I think he's going to be back after the bye week. But I am praying he's back for OU, because here's the thing. If K-State goes on a tear here, let's say Skylar comes back, K-State goes on a tear, that one loss is no longer one loss.
It's null and void.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have a reason for that game. The fact that this is not BCS generated anymore for like playoffs and for rankings and stuff like that is huge, because like now you have these people that are posting like the top whatever teams, and they can make up for the fact that that quarterback wasn't there and show you who you really are. So it would be huge if he's back.
I'm in the camp of believing that he's going to be back, because, hey, let's get him warm. Let's get him played up. Let's have him see what a real game is like. And then, hey, let's go into the bye week so you can rest up. But that's just me. Hit us up on Twitter with your predictions at I35SportsCXN.
I think the one thing that leans towards him being back is this isn't your traditional juggernaut Oklahoma, which, by the way, is your next opponent, undefeated, who's been struggling this year.
You know what? Let's just go into the keys to the game.
Let's go into it. Keys to the game.
Keys.
One key, Skylar Thompson, please come back.
Key, biggest key.
No. But here's the setup, right? I'm going to give just a brief overview of how you traditionally beaten Oklahoma these last few times, and then we'll go into like our keys to the game. So last 2 times K-State's beaten Oklahoma, they haven't turned over the ball, and they've caused multiple turnovers from Oklahoma, right? If Skylar doesn't play, you have zero margin for error. Not one turnover can you cause, or not one turnover.
They will capitalize on it. Absolutely.
So that's going to be huge. And then also, you might be with Lewis, right? Howard might be out too. So keep word on that. You're going to be, if Skylar Thompson doesn't come back, you might be on quarterback number, I guess, 3 for this game. So that's going to be scary. But let's go into the keys to the game. Do you want to give the first one, or do you want me to give the first one?
I'll go ahead and jump with the first one. So the last 2 times that K-State beat OU, yes, that's right, you're hearing it correctly, we come in and we shut it down, and we We kill the predictions. That's just what we do. We cause chaos. Sorry, not sorry.
Yes, we cause chaos. But I think what you're alluding to is the fact that we get turnovers. And the
Right.
first key to the game is 27.
Yep.
Why is that number significant? Because throughout Spencer Rattler's entire college career, this year and last year, every time he's at least thrown the ball 27 times, it's ended in he's had an interception in the game, except for 3 times. There's only been 3 games where he's thrown the ball 27 times or more that he hasn't thrown a pick. And think about Oklahoma's offense. Think how much they throw that ball. To only have 3 games where you throw the ball over 27 times and don't turn it over, that's huge. That means you put the ball in Rattler's hands to force Oklahoma to win that way, because that's the way you can cause them to lose. Give it to Rattler. Make him be the guy to beat you. Don't let them run all over you. So that's why 27 is the first key to the game.
To the game. All right, I think that our next key to the game is going to be the number 24, 24.
Oh, look at you, look at you.
I had to think about that for a second. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, that's right. So it's going to be 24. I really, really think that we're going to have to hold Oklahoma to 24 points. Less? Great, cool, not a problem. More than that, and it will be an uphill battle through molasses in January.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that's a great point. And it's not saying that if Oklahoma scores 24 points, K-State wins, but it's saying if you for K-State to have a shot, it's got to be 24 or under.
Yep.
Like, once you start inching closer to that 30 mark, like it's hard to envision a Skylar Thompson-less team scoring more than 30 points against Oklahoma. It's just so hard. And like, you have minimal margin for error, minimal possessions where you got to make the most of it. So that's why 24, you're absolutely right, is the key to the game.
Key to the game.
The last key to the game is Trace, is 3. And you saw, and this speaks to K-State cannot go 3 consecutive possessions without scoring. They just can't do it. They cannot do it. And it ties into the first 2 keys of our game, right? So you can't go 3 possessions without scoring, because then the pressure is off Spencer Rattler, right? It's off him to try to create plays, to create scoring drives. You know, as far as 24, right? You got to score more than 24 points to win this game. So if you're going 3 possessions consecutively without scoring, that's a problem. That means you probably aren't getting points, because as much as I am a fan of K-State, I have a hard time believing every time they score, it's going to be a touchdown. There's going to be field goals in here. So you're going to have to score multiple times on multiple possessions and multiple drives. And when you're a run-heavy offense like K-State is, the number of drives you get in a game is less than a typical air raid type offense. So that's why 3 is the next key to the game, because you cannot go 3 consecutive possessions without scoring. You just cannot do it against this Oklahoma team to have any chance to win this game.
Yep. And I just not trying to be a hater or anything, but I am not buying into the hype that is Spencer Rattler. I think that, you know, that's not something we should walk into this game like, oh my God, Spencer Rattler, he's going to do so well. Is he? I don't really think that he's really met that opponent yet that's going to challenge who he is and what he does. But that could just be me.
You're dealing with a quarterback who is, you know, I don't know him, but from what I see on the field and what I see in post game and stuff, and what he's done over the summer, it's very much a guy who has anointed himself already going to the NFL. This is someone who's kind of like looking past some of these college games right here, you know, because he's, you know, predestined to be in the NFL. So like, you have a chance to really sit somebody back and kind of take advantage of them looking past you. And he's going to look past K-State with, you know, possibly a 3rd string quarterback playing this game. So that we'll have an opportunity to win. It's going to be hard. But I will say, as a bonus key to the game, watch for K-State to pull some rabbits out of the hat here. They are going to open up the playbook. You're going to see what Nevada did, right? Trick plays. K-State is going to do a couple trick plays here to try to change the field position and at least get into a scoring position. So hit us up there.
To be just, maybe to put it out there, Coach Kleiman's birthday is today, so maybe he's coming off a week of birthday celebrations, and I don't know, could bode well for them.
They're going to want to get him a win. They're going to want to do everything they can to get him a win. Hit us up at I-35 Sports CXN if you disagree, if you agree, if you want our takes on anything. Tell them where we'll be at this weekend, by the way, for the game.
We will be in Las Vegas for the game. I had to think about that. I was like, wait, where will we be? Going back to one thing real quick. Guys, the man wants more than cake for his birthday. Deliver him a win. Yes, we will be in Vegas. Which means probably AAA, will be putting in all of the sports bets. It burns a hole in my heart to spend money on things that I have way too much emotion invested in. So I will not be part of that. But AAA will be doing all that fun stuff. So go ahead and explain what you want to do.
Yeah, so I think we'll place like maybe 2 bets and we'll do a parlay and we'll just show it on Twitter. So what's our Twitter again?
At I-35 Sports CXN.
So if you want to win, just follow us on Twitter and see what we do here. I won't announce any of our picks on this show or on our podcast, I-35 Sports Connection. You'll have
That's illegal, right?
It's not illegal to say what you're picking.
Oh, weren't they really weird about that the last time we were in Vegas? They were like, "What are you taking pictures for?"
Oh yeah. They don't want you to take pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing it anyway.
Vegas rules are sketch. Yeah. Does anybody follow rules in Vegas? That's like the one place where rules are like, eh.
Depending on what I've seen there, I don't think anyone follows anything. Yeah, but once again, hope you enjoy the show. Like, share if you like the show. But yeah, let's go State. Let's hopefully we can pull off an upset like we've done the last 2 years. Go State.
Yep. Ema, let's go get them, Cats.